Hey everybody, it's Marty the JavaScript Party, and it is Saturday the 15th, 12:42. I just did like an hour and a half video. Me and Rhett just did an hour and a half video on the Three.js stuff, and that is how I'm currently, my current posture. That is a word that they really like in legislative domain. In the legislative domain, they like as you're moving things around and you're setting things up and you're organizing everything, they say you're in a posture to do something. And I'm in a posture to work on my Three.js, and I would like to shift over to my Saturday say hello project. So I go to open recent, say hello, hello. I think we're very close on this one. Yeah. So we want to update the loader until the data is retrieved. So that is Q in this queue. So npm, we got to go over there. I think it starts with UI. I really like how I did that. CD UI. Nope. I really wish I'd have started it with UI. UI dash say hello. That's how I wish I did that. Um, and then npm start. And now, while we're doing that, we want to looks like I've completely abandoned issues and branches, and I'm just like trying to, because I think I'm just so close to having this thing done. But app.html, and all right, so what we want to do is actually have a loader. And it's probably going to be easiest to just have a loader component that shows when we're loading. Um, so over here, we probably want a loader. And then we probably want like an ngIf or something like that. But I don't know that, I guess we don't want everything. Say hello project. All right, is this thing building? I guess we want just this table to be loaded. Um, so, and there's always like, I mean, there's like a lot of very basic ways to do this, which I like, but everywhere I never see that. The locale update 9 has not been converted, so there are no words available for comparison. Yeah, I like that. That worked out nice. Um, so let's go to, all right, so now we are in the US, and it brought this from uh, from there. And it's actually probably going to be very difficult to actually, I guess we'll put a set timeout or something so that we can actually slow this down. But it looks like I think the ideal way to do this would be like to have just this square loading. So you can start your microphone, you can see this stuff, you can see this, but this says loading until it's loaded. So I think we need a loading icon. So, and I like sorry, a loading component. I think that's what we want to do. This is a little bit, I probably would normally not do it that way. I'm just trying to be kind of like more stuff, kind of the way I would expect to see it in a professional environment. I wouldn't say it's more professional, but just sort of how you expect to see something like this in a professional environment. All right, so we want to create a new component, and it's going to be called a loading component. I guess what I'd normally like to do is copy it like this, and then put my new comma in there, make this loading. guess it's going to be a code. I guess that should be loader. Loader. And hit save. And then navigate over there. CD to our say hello UI, and npm run loading component. And so we will generate this component this way, and it's nice because then we'll always know exactly how we did it. Now, I kind of like to have everything committed when I do something like this, but you know what? I feel like we're so close. I'm just going to try to get this thing done. So we expect this to show up in here. If it doesn't show up in here, then we need to delete stuff and redo it. So I want to see, yep, okay, that worked perfectly. Now, I believe to get this thing working, we need to grab this function. And I'm actually going to name it loader component. I don't think there's any problem with that. At this point, you can do that. Probably, okay, I'm just going to immediately delete this. Because that is actually where there would be a problem, is inside of there. I kind of want to name it loader component. Let's see, how did we do these? But I haven't done that anyplace else, so I'm not going to do that here. But I should have named it loader component, not loader. I think that there's something has changed in the way it builds things. I think it used to automatically put the word component in there, but maybe not. I don't know. Just don't even know. And if we're keeping it 100, I don't even care. If they changed it, they changed it. My tolerance for change is very, very high due to life experiences. The component is not imported. So it wants to import it up here, so that looks good. And now we can have access to it. And so for the moment, see, I'm going through the path that I always go through, and I really like this, and it's super reliable, but it's probably not what I want. Okay, that's not the right one anyways. Results panel. Okay, so we want to show, is it results? Yeah, because this is that little table that's off to the right. So if we look over here, that's this little table is this. So I was thinking this is what I was, but it's actually this thing right here. And so like we could just do like an NGF. If it's loading, then we show that. But people like else's and know what, I'm just gonna do it the way I want to do it. But I'm gonna put it right above it. And I believe I said app dash loader, right? I think I changed the selector to app loader. Or maybe it came in automatically as app loader. I can't remember. Okay, so the loader does in fact work. Um, so basically we want the app loader to show while we are loading. And so how do we know we're loading? That's the question. And how do we know we're not loading? Let's see if there's anything in app for us. And I don't know why it's complaining now because I did use it. I used it. Used it. Quit yelling at me. Don't yell at me. Oh, wait a second. Oh no, I was like, oh, wait a second, this is a class, but no, it's got a component decorator. Um, so we have our voice service, we have our routing service, we have our data service. Okay, so I think it's in our data service. I swear there was this show my sons both used to just love when they were little. It was called Blue's Clues, and that show, you know what? I actually don't. That show, I think, def absolutely laid out exactly how you should code. It's for children, it's for small children, but they have like the process of solving something, and they lay out exactly the process of debugging bugs in code. But anyway, so SH data service. So let's go see what's over there in SH data service. We might already have like a loading signal. If not, that's exactly the route we should take. So we got our SH data service, and it has got only one signal. No, it doesn't have any signals. Does it not have any signals? Yeah. Oh no, it's got all these signals. Gosh, I'm blind. All right, so only this is words. This is Boolean. Oh, so we do have a loading signal. Okay, so are we setting it? Loading set to false. Loading set. We already have a loading signal, everybody. So basically, if this loading signal, holy cow, if this loading signal is, and it's a Boolean, so if it's true, then we want to show our loading, and if it's false, we want to show our not loading. This is gonna, so far it looks like this is gonna be so much easier than I thought it was gonna be. All right, so we use at if. So I learned how to do this from um, ChatGPT. That's how I learned how to do this. Now I know how to do it though. That's the key is you don't want to interact. I mean, okay, I'm giving preachy, sorry, but you don't want to interact with ChatGPT in such a way that when you're done interacting with ChatGPT, you're dumb, more dumb than you started. You're dumber. You don't want to be dumber. You want to be smarter. It's up to you. When you interact with ChatGPT, you can get smarter or you can get dumber. Okay, why ch data service dot data service. It had a loading, right? Oh, it shouldn't be. It should be read only, not private. There we go. There we go. Loading. If we're loading, we want to show the loader. And then I think it's at else. And I don't know why they don't, you never see this. You never see it done this way. There's always like some very, very obscure kind of weird little thing somewhere high up in the chain that sets something, and then you have like templates, and they just when it's like it could just literally just be a component and an if then. I mean, sometimes you need like something like that because you want like a generalized solution that's going to go over thousands and thousands of things. And sure, if you need that, then I get it. So we had a loading. It's kind of funny though, because I think, yeah. So I'm not going to turn off the loading now, just for testing purposes. Like I always think I was going to test it by um, putting like a debounce or something, like just making it slow. But you know why? Why not just? Oh wait, that was the wrong place, anyways. Oh, this set true. Oh, yeah, this one. So I'm just going to comment that out. So in theory, yeah, loader works. Okay. So then when we turn it on, now I think this is a perfect time to like we could spend a couple hours building out like a good looking loader. But like I don't see that it makes me dumber, right, to go to ChatGPT and tell it that I have Angular, I'm working on Angular 22, I have Angular material. Can you make me a nice for my loader the markup for the loader, right? So and I could get smarter, right? I might, I might not, I might see something that I've never known before. So I should be looking for things. But in one in my project, one of my projects. If I say in my project, who knows what it'll, because it knows that I'm working on lots of projects. Have Angular 22 and Angular material. I would like a nice, I don't know. I don't think we're not taking over the whole screen or anything. Nice, like, um, loading. Nice. And I created a loader component. Now I just need some good looking markup um, to for loading. Oh, markup for my loader. Here we go. Here we go. So we take this, we use this matte spinner, diameter 50. I've never really used that before, but I think that feels right. That my senses, my spider senses tell me that that's right. All right. They also provided, ChatGPT also provided, ooh, okay, so I need to import matte spinner, and I don't know what matte spinner even is. I thought that was like a matte icon, but maybe not. I don't even know. See, smarter. I just got smarter. Um, because now I know there's this thing called matte spinner. So let's see if they provided. So they gave me some CSS. Apparently this is going to take over the whole thing. I don't know if I want that, but I might. I don't know. Let's try it out. Let's just see how it looks. All right, so it made some nice text. It doesn't, for some reason, it doesn't want to have full opacity on the text. It's centering everything, so that's good. Still won't transpile because it's upset that I haven't, yeah, it doesn't know what a matte spinner is. Oh, this is the full screen overlay. All right, I'm just gonna go with the. See, it thinks I'm working on one of my other projects because I generate a key over there. Um, anyways, so I need to import matte spinner. So it's probably, I'm gonna guess, matte. I think it's matte spinner. What's the import? I think that's called a directive. What is the import directive for matte spinner? And again, like I did not get dumber. Okay, Mat Progress Spinner module. That is so crazy that they didn't call it Mat's Progress Spinner as opposed to Mat Spinner. I probably would have had a better chance of guessing. And it says I can't find it. I do have angular material in this thing, right? Yeah, definitely. Let's copy this. Okay, thank goodness. I was like, oh my gosh, did ChatGPT just do one of those things where it saw the wrong thing? Okay, so it's building, building, building. I'm guessing it's building. Yeah, it looks like it's building. We don't have any errors. But Lord, is it taking a long time? There we go. All right. So it looked like something happened. I don't know what happened, but it looked like something happened. Let's go back to our data service. Let's comment this out again so we can see our loader. I like that. I think it should probably be, I don't know. I think it's fine. Maybe a little wider. Maybe 300 pixels wide, 400 pixels wide. Let's see, let's go over here. Let's go look at our HTML real quick. Okay, so it's the loader class is at the top. So this guy width is equal to. So I will say I think I'm smarter right now than I was before. I'm more knowledgeable, I guess is a better way of, maybe a better, more precise way of putting that. Um, it's okay, so I think it would look better if it was directly the same size as the microphone. I don't know if that's going to matter, if it's going to make a difference, but let's just play with this. So we get to the, yeah, I think that looks really nice. All right, so that is 190 pixels. That took me forever to learn how to do what I just did. And that was like you just hit the down button once you're once you've highlighted it, the attribute in here, um, like you click on that, you can use the up and down button to manipulate it, and as a very pleasant feeling. Okay, so that looks amazing, amazing. Man, I can't believe how well this project is going. I mean, I'm just cooking. Like, just come in here, spend a little bit of time, knock out the whole thing. Okay, so this is good. Now, that is done. Task complete. That right, Rhett? What do you think, Rhett? Did we finish the task? Huh? All right. So this task is complete. Yeah, she's doing all right. I was like, oh my gosh, is she okay? This one is complete. This one is up. And I think I was like pretty sure that when we get to 23, I think it's might be done. I don't know. I can't remember if there was another set of things I was thinking of. So update the server to return a support. Okay, so yeah, so tomorrow or so next Saturday we'll add a new API endpoint called locales.php, and it will return a list of supported locales, which right now I believe is just English. So let's see in our words API. I believe I have, yeah, see, the only thing I have is English US. So it would probably be like English UK would be good next, and then like E Spanish Spain or Spanish Mexico. will be, so I think that's sp slash there. And so, yeah, and right now we have this words.json, we have words.php. Oh, that's inside of this english.us. So basically, I believe the other one will just be like, I don't know, maybe I guess, you know what, it probably, I was gonna say it would be better to just have my new thing, my locales.php, just return the values, but actually I would rather in Words API just have a locales.php, I mean dot JSON, and then locales.php would just grab that and send it back. Um, and that will probably be the next thing. And it's only because like the chances of really screwing things up, I think in a JSON are lower than the chances of screwing up inside of a PHP. And this is kind of thing I just want to do that way. But anyway, so now, yeah, we're going to return a list of supported locales, which is, yeah, literally going to be locale objects that get returned. And then update the UI with nav to the other supported. Okay, yeah, that'll be the week after that. And then we're going to do a refactor to give more details in our description. So we don't want to get too crazy creating new locales because we are going to do a pretty decent refactor here. So I don't want to have to go into 50 files or something and start adding descriptions and stuff. And then I think it's done. So we are looking at, it is August 15th. So probably we'll hopefully finish this one on August 22nd. This one on August 29th. I bet you will be able to finish this one and this one on August 29th. Because adding two new locales shouldn't be that big of a deal. But maybe, or maybe I'll just do a short one, 29th. And then August, September. First week, yeah, it looks like I might be done with this whole project on the first week of September. And then I don't know where we go from there, but I'm pretty sure my one that I do tomorrow, my flashcard builder, will then be a Saturday, Sunday task. And maybe I'll just actively update these things. I'm really toying with the idea of trying to carve out some time to do like a live stream. Try it live streaming. Um, I like the way this one lady does it. Lee's Real Talk. She kind of does like a 30-minute presentation. So I would maybe thinking I'd do like a 30-minute, like a task like this. And then if there's any questions, she answers the questions. And I think that might be a really good might be a really good approach for me too. I definitely want to share as much as I know with as many people as I can share. Coding is really screwy right now. Like the entire industry is completely screwed up. And like this is definitely not like where I work right now, we have a lot of good developers. So that's not the case, but most places that I've worked over the last few years, like if you had a development team, I've seen dozens, maybe even hundreds of development teams that don't have a single computer programmer on them. So they're just meeting every day. They're doing like their stand-ups, they do daily stand-ups, they have their plans, they create their stories and all that, and not a single person writes code. And like they will go years like that, like having their daily meetings, doing all this stuff, looking all pretty, being really nice to everybody and all that. But I would say that even most development teams like that, if they do have, let's say they have three computer programmers, those three computer programmers are complete frauds. They can't code at all. And I think that that's probably like 95% of people out there that have the role, the name next to their name of computer programmer, like they never ever, they never ever commit any code to source control ever. That's never part of their thing. They just go in and I don't know. I don't know what they do. And then, um, and then I would say that that's like at least 90%. And I would say that at least 50% of all computer programmers have never even been exposed to someone who can actually code. Like they just don't even, and they think it's something completely different than it is. They don't have the vaguest idea what it is, and they think they know what it is, and they think that they're being computer programmers, and they aren't. They've been completely tricked. And so there's only a very few people who are actually writing code and actually productively getting code done. And um, it's just weird. So I want to get as much, I want to share as much of what I know out because honestly, 90% of if you're a up and coming software developer, I'm telling you, at least 99% of the information that's coming to you as direction and as guidance is wrong. I mean, completely wrong. And so, I don't know. I don't know how we're going to fix that. I don't know how companies, because the problem is that companies, they go out, they reach out to recruiters. And this is like another phenomenon that I was not aware of. But I remember when I worked for a recruiting company at one point, we would get sample data and we would from time to time find people we knew in there. And it would say that they worked for like all these Fortune 500 companies, like the big, like Google and Alphabet and Uber and all that other stuff. They would just have that all loaded up on their resumes, and then like we reach out to our friends and say, "You worked at Google?" And they're like, "No, why did you think that?" And it's like, "Well, I saw a resume with your name on it that said you worked at Google." And they're like, "What? Are you kidding me?" So like, and I know that like for a long time, I for like a year and a half or 2 years, I was an Uber driver. I was a driver for Uber. I wasn't a coder for Uber. And recruiters would constantly be like, "Oh, so you were a software developer for Uber?" And I was like, "No. Why do you think that?" And they're like, "Oh, nothing." And it's like, "Well, no, it's because some recruiter or project manager altered my data to say that I worked as a software developer at Uber when I was a driver at Uber. I've never claimed to be a software developer for Uber." And I'm pretty sure that I also worked for like 6 months for Pizza Hut as a pizza delivery driver before the current job that I have now. And I constantly getting phone calls from people saying that I was a computer programmer at Pizza Hut. And I have never ever claimed that. So yeah, so these guys are so hiring managers are getting things from recruiters that claim that people are not what they are, that they've got experience that they don't have, and these people are getting jobs and they don't know, and they think they know how to code, but they don't know how to code. Um, and it's hard. And I don't know what to do about that. So I'm trying really hard to share as much of what I've learned. And the thing is the first part of me being able to share it is for me to be able to understand what I've learned. And quite honestly, I've been doing these videos for a couple of years now, and like I have formalized so much of my knowledge through doing these videos. And I've actually gotten way more. I suspect I personally have gotten way more. Oh, that's probably not true, but it's very possible that I've gotten way more out of doing this than anybody who has ever watched these. But I'm trying. Anyways, I hope everyone has a wonderful day. Happy coding. Bye.